asshole for telling my new coworker it was misleading of him to be wearing his wedding band when he is a widower? A couple of weeks ago, we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower named James, 36. And to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. Me, 32 female, and the other coworkers got along well with him. However, I noticed that he is still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me a bit, and I couldn't help but bring it up with him while on lunch break. We talked, and I pointed out that he was being very misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. He looked quite bothered by what I said, but I tried to explain that I think that he was giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status since he's technically single and on his own right now. I don't want to sound cruel, but I am speaking from a technical angle. James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he doesn't care what people think. And that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he would still turn them down since he's obviously not interested. For some reason, things got awkward and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and at me. I told him I don't know, but that really felt generally misleading of him, as in making people think he is in a relationship, married, when he is not, regardless of how he felt about being in a relationship. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said, then took his stuff and walked away. My coworkers said regardless of who is right or wrong, though some said he overreacted. There was no reason for me to bring this up in the first place and cause a scene and make James upset with us like that. Now he's not speaking to me and the others who sided with me. So, am I the asshole? Did I overstep or did he overreact? Oh boy. Okay, the top comment coming in with 70,000 upvotes. You're the asshole. A wedding ring isn't a sign to others you aren't available. It's a commitment to a person you love. Might be dead, but if he's not ready to move on, then he's still committed to her. Your confusion about his status is not his concern. Next comment, 24,000 upvotes. This right here, OP, if you're reading this, you are one callous arsehole. It is not up to you to determine how long it's acceptable for someone to grieve or to police what they wear, jewelry, clothing, or otherwise. How dare you? Seriously, humongous, cold-hearted, unfeeling, socially inept arsehole. Next comment, 23,000 upvotes. OP is such a cold-hearted a-hole. A wedding band isn't legal papers. It's not supposed to represent his technical legal relationship status. It's a token of love and dedication to the person he married. He's not wearing it to let others know he's available. He's wearing it for her memory and to show he is still committed to her, to his wife who died recently and who he's still grieving. OP massively overstepped James's boundaries. He can wear his wedding band anytime, anywhere, and for whatever reason. It still wouldn't be OP's business. Her telling him is super rude and inappropriate. It seems like she's interested in the coworker. Back down, OP. He's not interested in you. And even if he was, any attraction he had would be wiped out by your overstepping his boundaries. Next comment, 10,000 upvotes. That was my first thought too, that OP's problem with the ring is that she quote unquote can't hit on him because of it. that she is salty he is not interested in her, he is not available. OP wants to consider him single and ready to mingle instead of widowed. She is salty he is emotionally unavailable for her and hates to be reminded of it whenever she sees that ring. Hates that she just can't forget his wife ever existed, and hates he can't just forget his wife ever existed. Good news for the coworker is that OP will never get into his pants after this. OP just saved him from ever making the mistake of getting together with OP. You're the asshole. I hope he goes to HR because of this. And my vote, this girl is the super duper biggest asshole ever. I have very choice words for this lady, but she's the asshole. Am I the asshole for not packing my husband's bags so he could go spend Christmas with his family without me? I, 30 female, have been with my husband Ted, 34 male, for 4 years, and we got married 2 years ago. His family and I haven't really gotten along too well. They're rich and all about image. I only see them on occasions, but that's when the drama is at its highest rate. Last Christmas, Ted and I traveled to spend Christmas with them, and it was awkward for some reason. After we moved back to the hotel, his mom sent me a list of all the things I've done wrong at her house, like bringing wrong types of desserts and wearing quote-unquote inappropriate clothes. I wore a blouse and a leather jacket, and not standing up when guests arrived. This year, mother-in-law only sent an invitation to Ted to spend Christmas with family. He told me his mom didn't invite me because of my last year's negative points and would rather just have him there this year. I was flabbergasted. I asked if he was actually considering going after his mom excluded me, and he shrugged and said yes, because he'd never spent Christmas away from family his entire life and isn't, quote unquote, about to break the cycle now. He suggested I go out, invite Regina, my best friend, over, or just plan my own celebration, and said, but nothing too crazy, capiche? I was upset, but hey, if they don't want me, then I shouldn't force it, and tried to not feel hurt and offended. Yesterday, Ted came home asking if his bags were ready since it was time to go. I said, I don't know, and he was stunned. He freaked out, saying I knew he was going to travel to his hometown and I should have packed his bags like I always do. I admit that packing his bags is what I do, but only when we're traveling together. And I figured since he was traveling on his own, then he should pack them himself. He lost it, saying I just caused him to be late and ruined all the flight, hotel, other arrangements he had just because I was being bitter because I wasn't invited to Christmas celebration with his family. We had a heated argument and he said, look, you're really overreacting right now because it's not like I'm going away on a vacation to another country to spend time with some strippers and whatnot, though I'm pretty certain you would be pissed and agitated as you are now. I'm just going to spend time with my family, and quite frankly, I don't know what it is with you anymore. Then proceeded to call me petty and say I got him in trouble and punished him by not packing his bags for him knowing he was going to travel. He packed his bags in a rush and ended up forgetting most of the gifts he got for his family. He is now not speaking to me. So am I the asshole? Edit to add, I found out that it's not just my mother-in-law, but father-in-law and Ted's brothers figured out it would be best that I don't attend their Christmas and instead go to my own family, claiming they were giving me the options to decide, and also claim they don't want to force me to be with them since we have some tension between us. Edit number 2. Ted said this is all temporary until his family and I get used to and adapt with each other. Top comment coming in with 50,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Change the locks while he's at his parents' and hire a divorce lawyer is what I would do if my wife did what your husband did. Next comment, 40,000 upvotes. Maybe she could send him divorce papers along with his own list of quote-unquote negative points. Grown man unable to pack his own bags. Refusal to defend wife from overbearing family. Actually agrees to ridiculous invitation to spend holidays apart. Next comment, 10,000 upvotes. I think what amazes me is that the family just needs time to quote unquote adapt to each other. After 4 years, what are you adapting to besides their atrocious manners? Definitely not the asshole, and ridiculous at that. Next comment, 2,000 upvotes. Not to mention, even if his family was all about quote unquote proper etiquette, which considering OP said they're all about appearances, they likely are. It's proper etiquette to either A, inform your new guest of these things beforehand so they don't feel embarrassed. In this case, that would be appropriate because OP married into the family. Also, it would be appropriate for friends, or B, if they accidentally do the wrong thing, you politely and kindly mention it after the fact in person. And if they simply do, you roll with it. And my vote, this person is not the asshole. They need to change the locks while the guy's away. Break up, divorce.